Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. I'm your host, Jen Lauren, here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, a hub for Indigenous artists who gather here to learn, create, and share their art. While our tribe is historically known for arts like basketry and pottery, today Cherokee artists do it all. Rebecca Lee Kunz is a painter, printmaker, and illustrator who combines the rich heritage of the Southwest and her Cherokee roots to show that art can be found in all of creation.
Art lives in me, whether I want it to or not. It is integrated into everything I do. I'm Rebecca Lee Kunz, and I go by Becca. I'm a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, and I grew up in Oklahoma, but now live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I think when I was young, I just always made art, no matter where I was, whether it was in school or at home, and that was my natural state of being. I was always encouraged by my parents to make art and to follow that passion. Though there was never any question about whether I should or shouldn't be an artist. I started out at the College of Santa Fe as a photography major, and then during my freshman year, I saw the painting students over in the painting studio and really noticed that that felt more like who I was and what I was in my form of expression, and it seemed more authentic to me to paint and draw and create my own world from scratch. I'm primarily a mixed media artist, and I just like to experiment. I try to stay open and loose and free. I've always included a lot of animals. I like to work with coyotes a lot and foxes, and I just feel like I understand their language. Coyotes typically are thought of as tricksters, but I don't see them just as tricksters. I just find them to be really intuitive and smart. They're connected to something beyond words. I'm a runner. I also do a lot of movement, and sometimes that helps to kind of activate my imagination. I feel like I can hear when I'm out in nature or out on my favorite trail. When I'm thinking about a body of work, I will come out with a specific intention and I ask for guidance. If I come out with questions, I just come to listen to what I hear. And sometimes the coyotes will talk before sunset, around sunset. They start talking and I like to listen to them. It's a form of prayer almost. My hope is that I can be a translator of these messages that I'm asking for, and maybe translate what, the divine or creator's trying to tell me. I see a lot of the colors of the sky in my artwork, and I do love the palette here, the nature's palette. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the land that I live on. If this land could speak and tell stories. And I'm sure that's all going into our consciousness living here and my consciousness, and it's just part of being here and being in any place. We are of the land, and the land is of the people, and it's all very connected in ways that we know and don't know. And here's another one of my block prints titled Spirit Bridge. Journal with a cork cover and recycled pages. So I started the Tree of Life studio in 2007 when I was pregnant with my first daughter. Creating one-of-a-kind paintings that will go in a gallery or in a museum. I knew that was something I wanted to do eventually, but I knew it wasn't a sustainable way to make a creative living when I had young children at home or babies. And so I tried to figure out what kind of business I could start. I decided to start with note cards. I thought, okay, I can create these one-of-a-kind pieces of art, but then they can be reproduced so that lots of people can enjoy them. And it's a lot less labor-intensive for me so that I can actually stay home with my kids and not have to work for someone else and maybe get my work out to a greater audience. The Tree of Life That name, it just felt like it embodied who I am. This body of work I started in 2020, was about this story of the Sky Vault, where beings used to live up in the sky in the Sky Vault, and then through a series of events, eventually came to live on Earth. When I was thinking about the images for these paintings, I started having these images of coyotes like falling, but not falling down, somehow falling back up. I'm still not sure what their messages were and what they were trying to tell me, but all I can do is try and translate that through image. I guess I could call myself like a visual storyteller. I like to tell stories and translate stories through my art. I have 3 daughters. They're about 3 years apart, and they're now all teenagers. My husband is a musician. He plays just about every instrument you could imagine. And my daughters have picked up a lot of music and art from us naturally. I've never asked them to do that, but it's just natural for them. It's part of our house and part of our life, and it's just infused in everything we do. All humans are creative. We are made to be creative. That is what makes us human. And given the right circumstances and encouragement or influence, I think all humans would find some form of creation that is natural to them. There's a softness to Santa Fe that I really appreciate. I feel very at home here. I love Oklahoma too, and the Oklahomans, and how when you're with an Oklahoman, it just feels like you're at home. I love going to Caldecott. I love being around Cherokee people, and I've gone back to Cherokee National Holiday a few times. One time I had a booth there with Andrea Rogers, the author of the book that I collaborated on, Chooch Helped.
This is our book that we created together. Andrea's the author and I'm the artist.
3 years ago, I started illustrating. I've been doing more illustration for books. That's been a whole new thing that I have learned and am learning. I had hoped maybe someday I'll make a children's book or make art for a book. I was at Cherokee Holiday, met Andrea Rogers. We were about to say goodbye, and she said, well, no, wait a minute, you're Rebecca Kunz and you make note cards? And I said, yeah.
So she came up and asked me, how do you become a children's book illustrator? And I said, well, these are your cards? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, I've actually already sent pictures of them to my editor because I love your work.
I went through a little bit of an audition process of sorts and was hired to make the art for that book. Making art for children's books is very, very different from making art for myself or for a painting that would hang on a gallery wall or something that will live in my sketchbook, only it's a very different process. The Caldecott Medal, I think it's described as the best picture book of the year for its illustrations. The award is for the art in the book. In 2025, there was a little bit of talk in the fall. Someone had wrote something about Chooch Helped being predicted as one of the Caldecott contenders. I didn't think much about it. The thought just dropped out of my consciousness, and I didn't think about it much. People were talking about a lot of these other books that were going to possibly win the Caldecott. It's a thing that people like to predict. Chooch Helped wasn't anywhere on there, and so I just didn't think it was a possibility or an option. I got this call on my cell phone, and I didn't know who the number was, but I picked it up. The Caldecott committee was sitting in the room together, and I heard a lot of laughter and commotion and conversation in the background, and they told me I'd won the Caldecott, and I was pretty much in disbelief. I was like, what? That can't really be possible. They're not possibly talking about my book, and so they repeated it a few times. It was a very big surprise, especially being my first book. It was not something I expected.
Rebecca Lee Kunz's collage textiles, watercolor, and indigenous motifs celebrate Cherokee culture in this universal story. Rebecca Lee Kunz, it is my immense privilege to recognize you and your achievement and to present you with the Ralph Caldecott Medal for Chooch Helped.
If a child feels moved in some way by my art, then I have done my job. I hope when a child holds a book, they feel the true weight of it, the care and attention that went into its creation. First, I'd like to thank every member of the Caldecott committee for recognizing this book. I will never forget the call that Sunday morning. Thank you to the citizens of the Cherokee Nation who have endured every effort to extinguish us. I am humbled to represent my people. I've always been making art, and I was always making art for the Caldecott unknowingly. I think it was always in there in me, even when I didn't know I was going to be an illustrator or making children's books. I hope to inspire people to be their own change maker in the world, or to inspire them to be creative in their own way. Everyone has some story to tell in the world and something to say, and the job is just finding our voice in this life, finding what that is, what is our path, what is our story that we have to tell.